Hello everyone, Potato Freaker here, and in this video we're going to go over the changes for the Druid in the now live 2.4 patch. I'm doing each class individually just to help reduce the length of the video, and so you can watch the video on the class that you're actually interested in. Most of these changes were already in the 2.4 PTR, but anything in blue text is new. I added in the blue text just to make it a little easier to see which are new. Elemental skills. Firestorm. Cast and delay will no longer share its cooldown with other skills that have cast and delays. Tooltip updated to now display cast and delay. Molten boulder. Missile speed increased by 100%. Missile range decreased by 50%. The overall travel length remains the same. Cast and delay reduced from 2 seconds to 1 second. Cast and delay will no longer share its cooldown with other skills that have cast and delays. Tooltip updated to now display cast and delay. Volcano synergy increased from 10% to 12%. Fissure. Cast and delay will no longer share its cooldown with other skills that have cooldowns. Tooltip updated to now display cast and delay. Volcano. Molten boulder synergy increased from 12% to 16%. Tooltip updated to now show volcano duration. Cast and delay will no longer share its cooldown with other skills that have cast and delays. Tooltip updated to now display cast and delay. Armageddon. Cast and delay has been removed from this skill. Physical damage significantly increased. Tooltip updated to now display physical damage. Volcano synergy changed to increase physical damage instead of fire damage and increased from 14% to 18%. Remove the hurricane skill requirement. Increase the missile damage radius by 33%, 3 to 4. Increase the missile damage drop rate by about 30%, from roughly 3 per second to 4. Arctic blast. Removed synergy from hurricane. Base damage and level scaling increased by roughly 100%, also to compensate for the incorrect damage calculations in the past. Controls are updated so that the skill now casts in free form and no longer locks onto one target at a time. Cyclone armor can now be cast while in were form and bear form. Twister damage scaling increased by 50%. Arctic blast synergy added, plus 20% stun duration per level. And hurricane cast and delay removed, can now cast while in werewolf and werebear form. With the cast and delay changes, Druid fire skills are generally going to be more widely used. In addition, we are increasing the physical damage scaling for fire damage skills to be reliable alternative damage sources. We felt that Arctic Blast is generally lacking power, so we are increasing this damage scaling, reducing the synergy requirements to free up skill points and improve the general player controls to allow the player smoother free-form targeting. In addition, we wanted to complement the Arctic Blast changes with improvements to Twister to add more build possibilities. Lastly, we are allowing shapeshifting forms to cast each of the elemental buff skills to avoid the current hassle of having to change forms to constantly maintain these active buffs. They definitely increase the damage for the fire skills. Armageddon is now going to do more physical and fire damage. It's also going to, over a larger area, drop more, and it doesn't have the hurricane requirement. So Armageddon's actually in a really good spot right. It's something that you can use in hell mode, because even if they're fire immune, you're doing physical damage. If they're physical immune, you're doing some fire damage. Arctic Blast still won't be used, but it is nice that they at least made it a little easier to use. Hopefully they fix it a little bit more so it does a bit more damage. But shapeshifting skills. Werewolf. Werewolf now only uses the new attack speed calculation that was originally introduced in the PTR. Raised Werewolf attack speed cap from 75% to 150% to tooltip updated and now display cast and delay. Werewolf and Werebear had different attack speed calculations than other melee classes. They've now changed that so that they use the same calculations as everyone else, which makes them a little bit slower, but they increase the attack speed cap to try and offset that a bit. Rabies. Attack rate and bonus increased from 7 to 10% per level. Poison Creeper synergy increased from 18 to 20%. Fury. Attack rate and bonus increased from 7% to 10% per level. Attack speed increased by 40%. Reduced the rollback frame values between each attack. So always nice when they increase the attack speed, because they did change it so it's a little slower, so if they do things to increase it by using skills, all the better. Werebear. Werebear now only uses the new attack speed calculations that were originally introduced in the PTR. Raised Werebear attack speed cap from 75 to 150%. Damage bonus per level increased from 8% to 15%. Base damage values increased from 25% to 40%. Defense bonus per level increased from 6% to 10%. Cannot be interrupted while performing attacks or skills. Tooltip updated and now display cast and delay. So the Werebear will actually be a little bit slower, but he's a tank now. He's definitely, what you would think of as a Werebear. Very tanky, good lots of damage. Maul now grants 3% attack speed per charge. Damage bonus per level increased from 20 to 30%. Attack rate and bonus increased from 20% to 40% baseline and 10% to 15% per level. Tooltip stun value will now properly cap at 10 seconds, which follows the core game stun duration cap. Shockwave. Maul synergy increased from 5% to 10%. Fire Claws. Damage increased by 75%. Remove synergy from Fissure. Remove synergy from Volcano. You didn't really need those for the Fire Claws, because you couldn't use Fissure or Volcano while you were transformed. It was a bit of a waste. You get rid of those synergies, increase the damage, and it'll still do roughly the same. We debated on the best way to bring Shapeshift and Druid forward. Both forms use a new attack speed calculation that allows more weapons to be used effectively and properly incentivizes IES gear. With the improved Fury, the Werewolf can reach even faster attack speeds than it could previously. As for Werebear, we wanted to deliver on the fantasy of a powerful, unstoppable killing machine. We've introduced uninterruptible attacks and skills, as well as increased damage and defense. While this will change the way players have played the Werebear in the past, we feel like it is more in line with the intended fantasy. Players who love their fast Werebear builds were adding attack speed bonuses to Maul, but we also hope the new Werewolf changes will offer them the same style of play as it is now the faster form. So if you want to go for speed, you want the Werewolf. If you want damage and defense, you go bear. Which is kind of the way it is. A wolf is faster than a bear, but a bear is bigger and stronger than a wolf. So I'm really happy with the changes they made to this shapeshifting, and both are very viable as a playthrough. Summoning skills. General. Druids can now have spirit wolves, dire wolves, and bears all summoned at the same time. This is huge. You can actually now have your zoo. You couldn't previously, which was a big bummer. A lot of people complained, and the devs listened, so thank you. Oak Sage, min life and max life values are averaged to always be the same, accurate to the tooltip. It had random life. It was actually kind of odd. And it wouldn't show you. You had no idea what their life would actually be. Physical damage resistance in normal difficulty increased from 0% to 25%. Physical damage resistance in nightmare difficulty reduced from 100% to 25%. So in nightmare difficulty, your Oak Sage was physically immune. And then it would go back to 0% in Hell difficulty. There's all kinds of weird bugs that they had in the game. Anyways, they're all at 25% in each difficulty now. Same with Heart of the Wolverine and Spirit Barbs, although they also have the Aurora no longer returns a percentage of damage when hit. Now the Aurora will deal a flat amount of damage when the Aurora affected targets are attacked. Okay, that's a little odd. I wonder if they just worded it wrong, or if they have this one different, because they changed the way the Thorns works. Thorns, it does percentage and a flat amount. They added a mix of the two. But this is only saying flat amount of damage. So we'll have to see if it returns a percentage as well. I'll have to load up the game and see what the tooltip says. Anyways, Raven. Attack rate and bonus per level increased from 15% to 30%. Now also it displays in the tooltip. Modified the AI so that the Raven attacks more often. Damage level scale and increased significantly. Summon Spirit Wolf Synergy added, plus 12% damage per level. Summon Dire Wolf Synergy added, plus 12% damage per level. Summon Grizzly Synergy added, plus 12% per level. The Ravens are actually going to be doing some more damage. That would be nice. Summon Spirit Wolf. Min life and max life values are averaged to always be the same, accurate on the tooltip. So just like the other ones that a random amount of life. They could live forever or they could die in a second. Now it's averaged, always the same. Attacks now deal cold damage and chill for a duration. Provides utility with the chillin and acts as an alternative damage type compared to dire wolves. Damage level scale and increased by 10%. Baseline in life increased by 80%. Life now increased by 10% per level. Updated the tooltip to display each synergy bonus value. Summon Direwolf. Once again, min and life average to be the same. Damage level scaling increased by 30%. Baseline life increased by about 90%. Life synergy reduced from 25 to 15%. This is because the base life was increased and Spirit Wolf and Grizzly Wolf now gain life per level. Updated the tooltip to display each synergy bonus value. Summon Grizzly. Min and life values averaged. Base life increased by about 15%. Life now increased by 10% per level. Updated the tooltip to display each synergy bonus value. Poison Creeper. Min and life averaged. Poison damage level scaling significantly increased. Life scaling increased by 100%. Rabies synergy added. Plus 10% damage, poison damage per level. You're still not going to be using it much. Carrion Vine. Min and max life averaged. Life recovery has been reworked to be 1% healing per level instead of being a diminishing calculation ranging from 3% to 12%. Solar Creeper. Min and max life averaged. Mana recovery has been reworked to be 3% mana baseline with 1% mana per level instead of using a diminishing calculation ranging from 1 to 8%. The restriction of the Druid being allowed only one type of summonable at a time has restricted the viability of this build and has hampered the fantasy of a Druid summoner from living up to its full potential. We feel that a Druid being able to summon all of its allies at once will make for a more interesting and fun playstyle. In general, all summons will no longer have hidden randomized health values, so that the tooltip is more accurate and so summons perform more consistently. Ravens are getting significant changes to help them function as a skill-like skill for summoning druids to use, and this includes damage scaling buffs and new synergies from other summons to fuel their damage. Wolves are getting improvements to give them more of an identity as damage dealing summons. The spirit summons are receiving a significant damage resist change across each difficulty to make them survive more consistently. Spirits of Barbs is receiving changes to thorns to make it more viable source of damage. Lastly, each of the creeper summons are receiving improvements to give them more reason to invest skill points and to have them perform better at higher levels. So, you're still not going to use your vines. The summons is huge. They won't die as easily. They won't live forever. Just be an average. Your ravens will be awesome. Your oak sage and your other ones, the resistances will be balanced out for the physical damage. Good changes. Definitely good changes for the Druid that are coming. Comment down below on what you think of the Druid changes. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you like what you saw, and I hope to see you in the next video. Thank you and goodbye.